Yo, what is good? My anime people, what is good, yo? So, I had to snatch up this game. Big fan of the movie. Uh, kind of wish I was had my channel once the movie was released, so I could have did a review on it that people would actually care to hear about. But, with this game, I just wanted to see if it could even be used as recording, seeing how there's a whole bunch of stuff um, that could be prohibited or whatever. But regardless of that, guys, this week of Index was actually pretty hype. Not to mention, it's one of these days where, um, or not one of these days, it's one of these weeks where they're showing us quite a bit of, the overall like arcing powers and how who we gotta be wary of and stuff like that. But not to mention we see just what it's like for some of these like countries that have um, you know, they've been sustained for so long that it's honestly not surprising why other people don't mess with certain countries now after seeing um, what the some of these countries are capable of, and one of those things being this sword that's literally cutting through dimensions that existed in Britain. But not to mention, if they really wanted to use it in a way that they saw fit, they could also take that power away from the sword and transfer it all into the people. And I thought that was actually kind of scary for, um, any types of armies and different people like that that may end up trying to show up and, for instance, oh, I want to attack their, country or whatever. They then don't have someone that they want to wield the sword, which the sword was completely shattered in this week's episode. So, um, I wouldn't be surprised if that also plays a much bigger role in the sense of like now that ability just might always be like that. Holy crap. Um, that ability might always be like that, where now as soon as she starts, the queen that is starts doing that um, announcement and stuff like that, we could be seeing the overall like power of this country from here on out. Just every single person that actually wants and is willing to fight, if they do so, they will straight up destroy people. So I am very happy to look into that, and not only to look into all of that, we might just be able to see um, a much crazier, much stronger weapons and stuff like that, because this feel like definitely the introductory stage of the whole entire thing, which is cool in my opinion, but at the same time, um, since it's just like since I can see it as an introduction to just what these powers could be that other people are holding, I'm super excited to see just what the ultimate power or what the ultimate thing they need to fight towards the end of this season is going to be. If they do get to that, it might be left on a cliffhanger, so we'll see just where all of this is, uh, which I'm going to be happy about. If it does end in a pretty hype way. Um, but yeah, guys, the other thing that was really dope was just seeing how many people are behind Toma, how many people are continuously growing behind this kid. And I like animes that don't need to be like, hey, this guy's got all these powerful women behind him. It's like, oh, do you think it really needs to be women? Like, do you guys honestly just want it to be women, or what's going on? And I thought it was pretty funny that uh, it felt like he, as soon as he started finding more and more people that weren't just women and stuff like that, they are all, capable of helping him, but seemingly only certain people show up. Like, for instance, the guy with the red hair who smokes a lot of cigarettes, he didn't show up at all to help. You know what I mean? Like, that just wasn't a thing. So I didn't really understand. Oh my God, did he just stab himself? I didn't really understand why um, that was the whole entire, you know, benefit of it all was just to straight up, um, you know, she got the sword. She wanted to have dang there destroy England and stuff, but to see all of the people that were showing up on his side to help and stuff like that, it drew the narrative that this is going to be definitely a bigger character overall. Oh, this is gonna be a bigger character overall in the seams of, seeing everything coming to the light, seeing certain characters grow. Um, I mean, not to mention Thomas straight up saved both of the princesses, or he saved the Princess of Virtue and the Princess of War before all of this ends. So that's also a thing that we're pretty much seeing be relatively relevant to Toma's character, like always, which is fun. But at the same time, with the saving of the War Princess, I can only imagine that is just a lot more salt in the wound. Um, so if it is, uh, take control. Uh, um, if it is like how it's all going, I honestly don't. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just while he's trying to do all this, it just feels like everything is kind of, falling in place for him. But at the same time, I just hope that he gets, to. Uh, okay, so that's cool. I hope he just gets to enjoy all of this, because if not, it's going to be relatively a rough. It's gonna be a rough like opening for him, because I mean he's now chasing after the person who was attacking the Princess of War, and after attacking him, he pretty much knew that if he continued to let that if he fought Toma right then and there, he might accidentally end up straight up winning and maybe going too far, it seems like. Um, that was kind of what I got from that he might not even know how to hold back, which is funny to me. Because I mean, of course, this guy wouldn't think Toma could handle any of it. But the main thing that really scared me out of it all. Okay, so this is an AOE. Um, the thing that scared me the most was what happened to Index. Like, man, like all of a sudden, Index is just popping up out of the ground and acting like a messed up robot. So I really hope Index is good. From what we saw, it doesn't seem like she is. So I guess we'll see just where all of that falls in line at the end of the day. But really, I enjoyed this episode, seeing Toma work together with a man that pretty much was his overall rival. How come you can't like roll? That's weird. Um, it was cool to see them work together. Not only work together. Oh, that's why I need to push circle. Not only work together, but they then show us that regardless of the situation they're in, they're pretty much going to go in. Like they're going to try to at least win uh, even if they do work with someone they don't really want to work with. I thought that was a good like explanation as to why the princess and all of them are actually liable to them, because I mean, no one really cares for characters who are just like, um, you know, gonna like Vegeta characters. Those wannabe characters who are like, oh, I can't work together with that guy just because I've lost to him before, or just because he's an ass. I don't like him, you know. And then you're like, oh, so the whole world's gonna suffer because you feel that way. Great, you know. So that's just the type of characters that usually exist in these types of anime. But thanks to this show actually giving us some decent characters to watch, it doesn't seem like that will be the case all the time. So I'm pretty happy with that. But overall, man, the show itself is kind of building up something huge, and to see Accelerator in the next week's episode is pretty telling to me that we could be honestly getting some very, very hype stuff in the future. So I am really excited about that. Not to mention, Accelerator spinoff is still a thing, so make sure you guys remember that. That is a weird looking character right there. But yeah, if you guys are excited for more index stuff, let me know, because I honestly can see this show going for quite a bit with how they just pretty much had a battle in Britain, and there's a lot more countries coming up, and Russia's the next one. So we'll see just what pops off in the show altogether. I am the Anime G. I hope you guys have a good day, night, evening, whatever the case it is when you're watching this, and I will definitely talk to you guys in the next one. This game is definitely more story based, and I don't know if I'm gonna be using it in the background as much. So yeah, I don't know if you'll don't expect to see this game a lot, um, unless I get to a part where it's just me grinding for levels and stuff. Then I'll probably use it. But other than that, I don't see me using this game necessarily. So with that, everybody, I hope you have a good one, and I will talk to you in the next one. All right, everybody. Peace.